Hello and welcome back to my first ever weekly reading vlog. I decided sort of on a whim this week that I was going to film a week in my life, so here we are. As you probably just saw, I finished eating breakfast, getting ready for the day, and walking my dog. And now I'm here to update you guys on what I expect to read in this reading vlog. So for this week, I expect to read 3 books, 2 physically and 1 via audio. I am currently reading, as you saw, There by Tommy Orange. This is a beautiful book so far. Even though I'm only 10 pages in, I can already tell that this book is going to be absolutely phenomenal. I think this is going to be both beautiful and informative, and I cannot wait to dive deeper into the story. In this story, we follow 12 different characters who are all connected in ways that they don't realize, and we as readers don't realize either. Can you not do that right now, baby? Can you wait a little bit to do that, please? Thank you. They're all on their way to the big Oakland powwow, and I think that during this journey, they are going to really figure out how their stories come together. I'm also still listening to the audiobook of Nothing More to Tell by Karen McNamara. I am 36% of the way through with this audiobook. I still have 6 hours and 39 minutes left. Am I loving this? No. Am I hating this? Also no. Do I think this is going to be anything more than 2.5 stars when I'm done reading this book? No. It's still keeping my attention, even though I feel like this is very, very tropey. It feels very YA, but in the sense that, like, it feels like how you'd see a high school being portrayed in the 2000s, and I don't know if that holds up anymore. Like, there are a lot of high school tropes that I don't even see done that much these days. I feel like I'm very much indifferent towards the characters in the story, but I am curious to see where the crime is going to go, what solution we are going to be given to this mystery. So I feel like that's why I am reading. I'm not reading currently because of the characters, but rather because of the crime itself. So this is Nothing More to Tell. Is this the name of the story? Yes, Nothing More to Tell. I also intend to keep reading Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr. I am not entirely sure what this book is about. I read about 20 pages on my trip, and it is very, very whimsical. The writing is extremely beautiful, however. I really enjoy how this author is telling the story, even though I'm not entirely sure what it is about. It's extremely magical, and this is kind of what I was looking for. I have been craving some magical realism. I have been craving like whimsical writing. I don't feel like reading a full-on fantasy, but I feel like reading something that has like a sparkle of magic every now and again. So I am hoping that this is what the story is going to deliver. If I do pick this one up, if I do go back to reading this, I will update you guys and I'll let you know where we are with the story. These are the 3 books that I intend to read in this reading vlog. Hopefully I'll get through the 3 of them. If I do, I'm gonna be quite happy because it will mean that I have read over 1,000 pages in a week. But let's see how we're gonna do, because I don't want to make any promises, because last time I made a reading vlog I failed miserably, so we'll see where we're gonna go. Hi, it's much later in the day. It is now almost 9 p.m. It's currently 8:51, so a good 6 hours have gone by since my last clip. When we were walking our dog this afternoon, we realized that we had this letter on the mail from the immigration office. You probably don't know this because you have literally no reason to know this, but I'm going through a visa process at the moment, so they asked us to send some documents that they need to see. So we were putting that together for a couple of hours. We just finished doing that like 40 minutes ago. I took a shower, ate my dinner, and now I am ready to read for hopefully an hour before I eventually fall asleep. It's nighttime, it's dark, so the Kindle is out. Good morning. It is currently 9:24. I have just finished teaching my last class of the day. I've been teaching since 5 a.m. so I am definitely that would have been bad. So I'm definitely really excited to sit down and read for as long as I can. I'm about to make myself some tea. I don't really drink coffee, so I usually have black tea in the mornings, and we're about to make that, lay down and read for hopefully at least an hour before I eat my breakfast and start getting ready to do more work for the rest of the day. Guess who fell asleep? I did read about 30 pages of There. I am loving this book so far. I am on page 50 right now. I'm really enjoying this book. It's beautifully written. I have met 3 different characters so far, and I feel like they're very unique, but at the same time I like how like the author is connecting certain points in their stories. Like he'll take an element, like for example a gun, and a gun will mean different things in different characters' stories. Sometimes it will mean an actual gun, but other times like he will use the metaphor of a gun to connect it to something else in the character's point of view, which I'm really enjoying. I like how already we are seeing connections between their stories. I'm really curious to see where the story is going to go. But now I am going to go listen to my audiobook for a little bit while I make my breakfast. But I honestly cannot stop thinking about all the documents that I have to put together for my evidence with my visa stuff. So I really just want to go and do that. So I think I'm gonna do my breakfast, sit down and start putting all of that together so that we can send those out as soon as possible. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna read more later in the afternoon and tonight as well. Physically, but I will be listening to an audiobook, which also counts as reading. So we are doing reading, we're just doing it at a slower pace, which is how it goes with me. Okay, please don't be upset. Hi, and welcome to my yoga mat. Since we last spoke, I have done quite a few things, so I thought I'd come here and do a quick update. I have just finished doing a yoga class. I also worked for about 2 hours on just stuff that I had to do for my actual job. I did get a little bit of work done on my documentation. Still nearly not as much as I need to do, but I did organize how I want to structure the documents, and hopefully once my partner gets home we're going to check some other stuff from our list. And now we are about to tidy up the house because the floors are already covered in fur. Even though I vacuumed this whole place yesterday, having a pet just means that you get fur every day. So I like to sweep my floors every day, and I'm also going to do the dishes. While we do that, we are going to listen to our audiobook, which I have a feeling I know what's going to happen. I think that I figured out the twist in the story. I have around 4 hours left in the story, so I could be proven wrong. I don't think I will though, just because I've read enough books by this author to feel like I know where the story is going. But we will see. If something very shocking happens, I will update. If not, I'll probably only update whenever I finish the story, because I feel like at this point I sound like a broken record talking about this audiobook. So 4 hours left. I should be able to get it done either tomorrow or the next day. So I'll update whenever I have something more interesting to say.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now, there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer.
Good afternoon. It is currently 1 p.m. I have just finished doing a couple of things around the house. I also read about 100 pages of There. I feel like I'm starting to see how the stories are going to be like interconnected. It's almost like their experiences mirror each other, and they have a lot of like shared experiences, and they have been through very similar things in life. They know the same people, so I'm very curious to see how all of these stories are going to come together. She was just asleep before I turned my camera on, but the second I start talking, she's like, I must have your attention, like right now. There's nothing else I need more in the world. I also have finished listening to Nothing More to Tell by Carrie McNam. Oh my god, why can't I say this woman's last name? By Karen McNamara. I think that's her last name. I did just finish listening to the audiobook of Nothing More to Tell. I feel like it was fine. You know, it wasn't the best thriller I have ever read, but I also was not expecting it to be the best thriller I've ever read. I was expecting it to entertain me, and that's what it did. I don't feel like I'm going to remember or think about the story ever again, really. But while I was listening to it, it kept my attention. It kept me guessing. It kept me entertained. I was right about the killer. I was not right about one thing. There was one thing that I got wrong in this story, so that was fun to find out because I was not expecting where it went. But the main twist I was expecting, something else that I wanted to say is that I do have another audiobook because today I managed to grab How Not to Drown in a Glass of Water by Angie Cruz on Libby. I have heard fantastic things about this book. I have heard a lot of people saying that the audiobook is the only way to go with this story. So, we'll see what it's like. I feel like this is a story about an older woman who gets laid off. Perhaps, yes, she loses her job in the Great Recession, and she's looking for another job, and she goes to like a job counselor, but then she pretty much just starts telling her like her whole life. So we start learning about her life story, her life journey, what she went through, and I feel like it's supposed to be a little bit fun and quirky, but also like have a lot of commentary on like gentrification and living life as an immigrant in the United States. Yeah, right now I have to do work. I'm sorry this is so chaotic. My dog is like so much right now. This is what I do. I put this in here and she stays entertained because she cannot get the ball out for a while. She's able to do it. It's like to help their brains like figure out how to do stuff, but it keeps her entertained for a little bit. That's it. That's everything that I am going to update you on right now. I am going to let this little girl go run outside for a bit because she needs it and get some work done. I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Morning, everyone. It is currently 10:40 a.m. I have just woken up from a nap. I woke up this morning at around 4:40 and then I taught 4 classes. Finished, was feeling so tired, so I just lay down and slept for a little bit. It was honestly so hard to get up. I did not want to get up from my nap. I could have stayed in bed all day, but we have things to do. We have reading to do, most importantly, because I have not read since my last update. Sorry. Last night, one of my partner's coworkers came to our house and he stayed here for a couple of hours. So by the time he left and I got ready for bed, it was already past 10. And I'm literally like an 80-year-old woman. So I just went to sleep because I had to wake up really early this morning. So I have not done any more reading. I'm going to lay down and try to catch up because I know I am really behind on how much I should realistically be reading for a reading vlog. I have finished an audiobook, so there's that, but I have not finished anything else since. So I'll see you guys when I have something else to update. Hopefully I'll get a good chunk of reading done. But knowing myself, I'm not the most reliable person. I am reliable. I'm not going to say that about myself. I am very reliable. The thing that I am is I am a slow reader, okay? Normalize being a slow reader. Just let's normalize it. Literally no one is telling me that's not normal. It's just in my head. But let's normalize it because that's what's happening right now. I am reading. I'm just reading at my own pace, which is very slow. I'm just scared that people who are watching my vlog are going to be like, why are you vlogging if you can't keep up? But hopefully I'll get more reading done. I am not making sense. I told you I am so tired, so that's why I sound like a mess. Here it's super gloomy today. I think it's supposed to rain, which just adds to the theme of not wanting to leave my bed. Wow, I just spilled tea everywhere. This might be the second time I do this on this vlog. I swear I don't do this on a weekly basis. Oh man. Well, I gotta clean that up. See, that's why I keep taking breaks from reading.
Agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond all.
Hi, it is nighttime and I'm about to make myself some dinner. My dinner is going to be an avocado toast tonight because I just don't have it in me to have to make anything more elaborate than that. So that's what we are going to do. I actually think I have a lemon. That's what we're gonna do because I am still feeling really tired. I did most of my work that I have to get done for the week so that tomorrow I can just take it a little bit slower, even though I do have to start editing my travel vlog that's going to go up before this video. I did start the audiobook of How Not to Drown in a Glass of Water, and I honestly, I hope this is salvageable. I honestly don't know how this book was not like meant to be listened to as an audiobook, because there's like sound effects and the narrator is so funny and she's constantly breaking the fourth wall, so she addresses the reader a lot, and that works so well on an audiobook because it's like she's talking to you. It's like you are the therapist almost. Well, not the therapist, she's like, you know, job counselor. So it's almost as if you're the job counselor. It's so funny. I actually like laughed out loud with the main character a couple of times, and it's funny because she expects those reactions from you. So when you like giggle, she's like, you think this is funny, don't you? It's so good. I am really enjoying it so far. I'm not very far into it. Maybe I listened to like 25 minutes. I know I got through the first chapter. That's where I stopped, and I really enjoyed it so far. So I have very high hopes for that book. Only thing that I will say that I don't love about this book is that it has sound effects, which is great. So like at the beginning of the book, it even starts with like some sirens. But the one thing that I don't like is that every now and again the character will be like, oh, let me like drink a little bit of water, and you can hear her gulping, and for some reason I don't like that sound at all. It kind of like gives me the ick. Really loud gulping. I don't like it, and I also don't like whispering. I hate when people whisper. Like, ugh, it gives me like the heebie-jeebies. So aside from that, aside from the gulping, I'm really enjoying the audiobook. I am hoping to read more. I'll definitely read more tomorrow because I'm gonna clean the house. So whenever I clean the house, I listen to it. So I'll probably get through like an hour and a half of it. And yeah, it's really short. It's only 6 hours long, so maybe I'll be able to finish it by the end of this vlog. I also will go back to reading There, and it's only 8 p.m. So I should be able to read more than I have the past couple of days. Definitely more than I did yesterday, because yesterday I read an amount of 0 pages. So I'll see you later.
Hand in hand, building castles out of sand, reaching for
The writing on this book is out of this world. Listen to this. The wound that was made when white people came and took all that they took has never healed. An unattended wound gets infected, becomes a new kind of wound, like the history of what actually happened became a new kind of history. All these stories that we haven't been telling all this time, that we haven't been listening to, are just part of what we need to heal. Not that we're broken, and don't make the mistake of calling us resilient. To not have been destroyed, to not have given up, to have survived is no badge of honor. Would you call an attempted murder victim resilient? Just so good. Good morning with the best possible reading weather. Finally, it's Friday. I seriously am so happy to have gotten here because I am so tired. I know I sound like a broken record and I said that I sound so tired so many times, but that's because I'm absolutely exhausted. But it's Friday. I just wrapped up my classes for the week, thank goodness, and I am just going to lay down in bed. I'm gonna try to read for a long period of time. I feel like I don't really have anything like very pressing to do today aside from editing my video and cleaning the house, so hopefully we're just gonna relax and read. I'm gonna make myself some tea, lay down and read for as long as I can. I feel like yesterday night I reached the point in the book where it's gonna be really hard to put it down. I just got like to the interlude, which is like halfway through the book, and something big is about to happen, like not right away, but they kind of mention it in the first chapter, but you absolutely forget about it while you're reading the rest of the story. And when I got to the interlude, they mentioned it again, and I was like, oh, no, like, oh shit. So I feel like right now I will not be able to put this book down, and I cannot wait to hopefully finish it either today or tomorrow morning. So let's get reading. I know it's daytime, but I am gonna keep reading this on my Kindle because for whatever reason, I feel like I read so much faster on my Kindle. I feel like it's so much easier for me to like keep going, and I feel like my progress feels faster. So that's what we're gonna do. Don't argue, it's science. People read faster on their Kindles. I don't make the rules.
I would be up waiting for you if you had to leave. I would wait a lifetime if you were at sea. I just wanna say that I feel that our love is real. Maybe we should hurry up and seal the
Hi, I just sat down to have a little snack, so I thought I'd update the vlog where I'm at. Do you guys ever like forget how much you like a certain fruit and then you get it and you're like, this slaps? Because that's how I feel about watermelons lately. I feel like I never buy them, and then I just randomly picked it up last Sunday and I'm like, why don't I buy this all the time? It's so good. So here's what happened this morning. I laid down to read at around 9:30, and at 10:20 a.m. my mom called me, and we ended up talking on the phone for 2 hours. So reading, not that much. Catching up, I did a lot of catching up with my mom, so I don't know, life happens, and I feel like it always happens on my vlog. So I hope that like this is not really frustrating to watch because I'm still reading, but I just want to like also normalize just reading at a slower pace because that's also fine, and I am doing progress in my readings. I'm just not flying through the books that I'm reading. I didn't clean listening to my audiobook. For some reason, I felt like listening to music, which I normally don't. Like, it's not that I don't like music, but I'm not someone who's like always listening to something. If I'm listening to something, it's usually either a podcast or a book. But for some reason, I just felt like listening to music, so that's what I did. I folded laundry, which had been sitting there for God knows how long, and then I just cleaned and listened to some really good music that I had not listened to in forever, like really nostalgic music. I was listening to like Ed Sheeran's first album, which used to be my soundtrack in like 2012. So that's what I was doing. I'm about to sit down and edit my travel vlog, which should be up by the time this is up, and I have 96 clips to sort through. So wish me good luck because I'm not that good at editing yet. It takes me a little bit longer than I feel like most people who are used to the software, so we'll see how that goes. The books are awesome. Am I reading them as fast as I wish I was? No, but I'm still having a good time, and I hope you are too. Do I even need to say it? I feel like whoever is still watching this vlog probably knows what I'm about to say, that I am showered, and that I'm ready to read for as long as I can, and then next morning I'm gonna come here and be like, oopsies, I read 15 pages. I really hope that's not what happens because today is Friday, which means I don't have to go to bed super early because I don't have to wake up super early. I can wake up whenever I want to. So, we are about to read for as long as we can. And I do hope that we read, if not the whole book, we get really close to it tonight. I truly promise that I'm going to try my absolute best.
Deal. Oh, oh, I just wanna love you right. Oh, oh, love you till the end of time.
It is currently 3 p.m. I did finish reading There this morning, so we can successfully say that I finished a book in this vlog. This book was incredible. I honestly feel like I don't have the right words to describe how beautifully written, but also how powerful this story is. Essentially, this is a story about 12 characters who are all trying to find their identities, and they're all trying to figure out what it means to be native for them. And the best way in which they can do that is to go to the powwow, because they know they're going to be surrounded by people who share the same experiences and the same trauma and the same love for their culture that they do or that they are trying to discover. And when they are at this powwow, something extremely tragic happens, and also these characters are all connected in ways that they don't even realize. And at first, when I first heard about this book, I for some reason thought that they were all like on this bus together going to the powwow, and that they were all like interacting with each other, but actually you're following stories with separate experiences, separate timelines, and like separate narratives. But you as the reader can pinpoint how their stories connect, even though they might not realize it themselves. There were a lot of moments in the story that I was like, oh my, that's how this character is connected to this character, and that's how I was like mapping out their stories and mapping out how their experiences, how their stories, and how their trajectories are connected. Is extremely powerful, beautifully written. I feel like this book should be required reading in schools, because it really teaches you about the Native American experience, but also what it means to be Native American. And I absolutely love this. I found out very recently that the author is writing a sequel, and I am going to check it out. So this was an absolute 5 stars. I'm really glad we read this with my book club. Now, I just went to Starbucks. I just went to Starbucks to grab a drink because I have to sit down and edit the video that I started editing yesterday, and I randomly purchased this. I was not expecting to buy this game. I have never played Zelda before, but I had so many people on my Instagram playing this and their stories and freaking out that it was out and saying it was like fantastic, that I got FOMO for a game that I've never played before, for a game that I don't even know if I'm going to enjoy, and I knew I had to buy it. So I passed by a GameStop, walked in, walked out with this in my hands, and $80 missing from my bank account. So hopefully this will be fun. I'm excited to play this and listen to my audiobook. So it's currently downloading. I think it's already done, but hopefully I'll play it later tonight. And hopefully I'll really enjoy it, because a lot of people do apparently. And as for what I'm going to read next, like I said, I planned on reading Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr. But if we have learned anything in these vlogs, is that I am inconsistent. So now my brain wants to read this, The Book of Form and Emptiness by Ruth Ozeki. So I don't know which one I'm going to start. They're both magical realism, so they both have the same whimsical ideas, and I am curious about both. I have read 20 pages of this one so far, which I read a week ago, and the writing is beautiful. I have no idea what's going on, so maybe I'll pick this one up. But I have a feeling that I'm going to end up picking this one up instead, because I love Ruth Ozeki and I have been craving her writing, I feel like. So we'll see. I'll update whenever I can. Right now I am going to go edit, drink my chai latte, and yeah, later we're gonna play Zelda, we're gonna read some more, and hopefully get some progress going in this vlog. Hi, just time for a quick little update. I just got to my partner's hockey game. He plays hockey every weekend, and I don't normally come because his games tend to be very late, but today it's at 7, and it is the final, which is the main reason why I came. Hopefully his team is gonna win. If they do, they're gonna play at the like big arena here in Nashville, so that'll be That would be really, really exciting. He doesn't think they're gonna win, but fingers crossed. One can only hope. I did bring a book with me. I decided to go with this one because I love Ruta Zeki. I feel like I'm craving her writing, and like I said in the vlog when I bought this book, I just cannot stop thinking about it. I cannot stop thinking about the plot, so I'm just gonna give it a go. We're gonna start reading this right now. I have about 30 minutes before his game starts. Usually I read during the game as well whenever he's not like on the ice. So that's what we're gonna do. See you later.
I just wanna hold you for forever. Every day you're making me better. 'Cause a love like this is rare.
Hi, it is currently 11:30 p.m. I just wanted to come here very quickly to do a brief update because I don't have too much to say aside from the fact that my partner's team won, which was super exciting. His team has never won a championship before, and I believe last fall or something, their team did really bad in the league, so that was like super exciting for them. I was really, really happy, obviously. And then we ended up staying a little bit extra after the game was over just to celebrate with all of his teammates. We got back home at around 9:30, and I pretty much just sat down and edited for an hour and a half, took a shower, and now here we are. I am about to sit down to do some more reading. I did not get that much reading done at the rink because I was really nervous. Like, I was not expecting to feel that nervous during the game. I normally don't because it's very low stakes, but I was very nervous for this one. I was like shaking, my heart was beating super fast. So I actually ended up paying attention to most of the game, and I only got about 15 pages through this book. So far, I am intrigued. I can't say too much about the story because I don't know too much myself, but it definitely feels like Ruta Zeki. We are following two different POVs that like are telling pretty much the same story, but from their own perspective, if that makes sense. It's not exactly the same stories like step by step, but they're referring to the same family unit. I hope this makes sense. Really enjoying it so far, I think. I've only read 15 pages, so.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
Hi. It is currently 5 p.m. The day just completely got away from me. I'm just here to quickly update on both the book and the audiobook. I am loving this book so far. Even though I'm only 30 pages in, I am enjoying this so much. I have realized that whenever a book has an unusual narrator, I'm really into it. Like, I really loved when Remarkably Bright Creatures had an octopus as a narrator. There's another book called The Island of Missing Trees that has a tree as a narrator, and I absolutely love that. And this book has a book as a narrator. So you're reading a book where one of the narrators is a book. And I am loving it so far. There's this quote that I loved. Let me find it. That says, "Stories never start at the beginning, Benny. They differ from life in that regard. Life is lived from birth to death, from beginning into an unknowable future, but stories are told in hindsight. Stories are life lived backwards." Loved that. I'm loving this book. I feel like it is going to be one that I love, which is great. And as for the audiobook, I am 47% of the way through. I don't know if you can see it, but I am also loving this, which is great. I feel like most of the books that I read recently, aside from Nothing More to Tell, have been very, very enjoyable. This one is so funny. I feel like this book has made me laugh out loud so many times. I truly think that if you're gonna read this book, you should go with the audiobook because the narrator is so funny. I feel like I'm listening to it and I can think of so many like women in my life that could be this main character, you know, like I am Latina, I am Brazilian, so this book is about a Latina older woman who feels like I'm just listening to like one of my aunts or one of my aunt's friends talk to me. Loving, loving, loving this. Also loving this, which is great, honestly. So I think right now I'm going to read a little bit more of this, but I also really want to play Zelda because I have not had the chance to play it since I bought it. Because after I bought it, I was just editing my video, then I had to go to my partner's game, then I came back, edited some more, read, went to bed, woke up, read, edited, and now we're here. So I want to do both of those things. Read a little bit more, but also play some Zelda and continue listening to this because I am loving it so far. I'm loving spending time with this main character. So yeah, great update, great reads, and I'll see you later.
You and I, we got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times.
Here is my daily update from bed. It is currently 8:30 p.m. I did not read a lot on the last clip that you saw because I realized it was nearly 6 p.m. and I had to edit and post a TikTok, which I had not done yet, and I also wanted to make an Instagram post. So that's what I pretty much did, and then after that my partner made us dinner. We sat down to eat and watched the newest episode of Yellow Jackets, which was kind of weird, but the ending was very good. So now is my reading time. Now I'm actually going to sit down and catch up on this book. And also, I have not played the game yet. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I have more time tomorrow because my partner is gonna be at work all day, so I pretty much have the TV for myself. And I'll be able to sit down, listen to my audiobook, and actually play that game. For now, we're gonna read. Hopefully, we're gonna get more into the book, but we will see.